this is going to be the shortest intro I have ever recorded, and that is because I am tired and very hungry, and I am going through a bit of a flare-up. Not a bit. I'm going through a serious flare-up at the moment, and I will talk about that more next week. It's digestive, and I don't want to go on about it right now because I want to show you a really cool recipe. But I will just say that right now I am at the stage where I am on a clear liquid diet for a few days. And it's been a bit of a roller coaster for the last 2 weeks, actually. So very much looking forward to, like, in a day or two when I can try and eat smoothies and soups and purees. But also just like very bored of not eating solid food. Anyway, I'll talk about this more next week. I wasn't originally going to do a video about it, but then I realized there's so many people who actually do live with these kinds of flare-ups. People who live with Crohn's disease or diverticulitis or irritable bowel or I don't know. My brain's not working. I had it. It was right there. It was on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, digestive issues. And I find it really interesting to learn how other people cope with that. And I'm going to share some of the things that I do to cope with that when I'm in that situation. It's rare, but it happens. And it's still very fun. So, all that to say that I don't much feel like talking about food right now. Well, I do, honestly. I feel like talking about it, but it will be torture. But I do want to say that a few weeks or a couple of weeks before this whole roller coaster started, one of the recipes that I made was for black bean burgers. I love this recipe. I've made it many, many times. It's super tasty. They're freezable and barbecuable, grillable. You can cook them in a pan. You can bake them in the oven. You can, well, yeah. I mean, I told you. No marketing. And also I tried making homemade buns. And I didn't just try. I succeeded. I made them. They were great. Not quite what I want them to be yet. So if anyone has any recommendations for like an amazing, not too dense, preferably whole grain or at least partially whole wheat hamburger bun, I'm still on the lookout for the perfect recipe, but I'm still going to share this one with you because it was good. So if you want to try it out, you can do that. Yeah, so enough about that for me, not for you. Go watch the video and try the recipe. Let me know if you do try the recipes and tell me what you thought. Tell me if you made any changes. Tell me if you have a better idea or a tweak that might be helpful for next time. And yeah, enjoy. If you're using instant yeast, you can skip the activation step and just add it directly to the dry ingredients. But I don't have active yeast. I mean, I do have active yeast, but it's not instant. So I activated it in very, very, very warm, but not hot water first. And once it was activated and I could see that there was kind of a frothy layer on top of the water, then I knew it was ready to use. In a large bowl, I added the flour, sugar, and salt, and I whisked those ingredients together really well. I'm not a religious sifter unless I'm making like something delicate or a dessert or something like that. I created a well in the center of the flour, and then I slowly added the warm water and yeast mixture as well as some olive oil, and then mixed that together with a spatula or a wooden spatula spoon until it was just incorporated. Then theoretically you could do this on a clean floured surface, but in the bowl I just continued to mix and knead the dough for about 10 minutes with my hands and my knuckles, and then when I was able to form like a really nice tight ball, I lightly greased that with a little bit more olive oil and put it in the bowl with a towel on top, and I let that sit for just over an hour where it was warm, and there's no drafts. I mean, we're having a heat wave, so obviously there's no drafts, but away from the AC, that's for sure. And waited for the dough to rise about double the size. Once the dough was about double the size, I punched the dough down and folded it over, and then I divided it into equal balls the size that I wanted to make my burger buns. So, 6 or 8 should be sufficient. I put those on a parchment-lined baking sheet, making sure not to put them too close together because I don't want them to touch. And then I covered them again with a light kitchen towel, and I let them proof for another, I'd say 35 to 45 minutes. And they pretty much almost doubled in size again, I would say. Not doubled, but almost. While the buns were proofing, I sauteed some onions and some garlic until they were translucent, and I put some black beans, some breadcrumbs, the onions and the garlic, as well as some fresh coriander and some ground dried cumin, and some salt and pepper to taste. And then, totally optional, but I also added a very small handful of vegan shredded Tex-Mex cheese mix stuff. So kind of a spicy-ish cheddar. I whisked those up in the food processor, not until it was a puree, which you can do if you want to, but I like to have little chunks of the beans and onion and stuff. I like that mouthfeel better than a completely soft pureed patty. And then I rolled those into balls and flattened them out into patties and put them on parchment paper also, because I was stacking them on top of each other and I didn't want them to stick to each other. I put the patties in the refrigerator to chill a little bit, and while they were doing that, I made a bun wash, which I don't even know if it's really called that, but basically it was just a little bit of mustard and a little bit of agave and a little bit of plant-based milk so that I could brush that over the tops of my buns before they went into the oven. Because I'm making black bean burgers and it's kind of a Tex-Mex theme, on half of my burger buns, I scooped some salsa and sprinkled them with some vegan cheddar, and the other half of the buns, I brushed on the burger wash that I made with the mustard. I baked those in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Everybody's oven is slightly different, so just keep an eye on them and make sure they don't burn. Take them out if you feel like they're ready, and then allow those to cool for about 5 minutes, and then transfer them to a cooling rack and let them cool completely. Once your buns have cooled completely, they are ready to go, so you can go ahead and grill up your burgers, or you can do that while you're waiting for your buns to cool, I suppose. And like I said, you can saute them in a bit of olive oil, you can bake them in the oven, you can grill them on the barbecue, and I don't remember if I mentioned this earlier or not, but you can freeze them and cook them up later as well. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. It means an enormous amount to me. It truly, honestly does, even though I tell you that every single time. And if you are a Patreon subscriber, there are no words for the gratitude that I feel for believing in what I'm doing, for being a part of what I'm doing, contributing to it, and helping to make this channel possible. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if you are someone who would like to work with me for nutrition or naturopathy, there is a booking link in the description below. I will be back soon. In the meantime, take really, really good care of yourselves.